You ever have one of those weeks where you start out just trying to do some basic maintenance like real boring stuff and 3 months later, you're on the local news being called a domestic terrorist? Yeah. That's happened. And it all started with a pond. My pond. A muddy, 150-year-old watering hole my grandfather built with his own hands, the heart of our ranch and the lifeblood of our cattle. That's the hill I ended up nearly dying on, metaphorically, thank God. See, I live out on a 40-hectare piece of land in the middle of nowhere, or at least it used to be. I work remote, code all day, life quiet. Inherited the ranch from Grandpa when he passed. No mortgage, no neighbors, just sky, dust, and water. Until, of course, the subdivision showed up. Meadowbrook Heights. Sounds fancy, right? Overnight, the prairie next door turned into a gated community full of million-dollar homes and people who talk more about community standards than actual neighbors. Enter Veronica Sterling. 50-something, platinum blonde, always in heels even on gravel, president of the HOA and self-declared queen of the prairie. I first heard from her via mail a letter about my property's visual impact on the neighborhood. Which is hilarious considering they moved in next to a cattle ranch and now expected it to look like a country club. I ignored it. Figured they'd realize their HOA laws stopped at their fences. But Veronica wasn't big on boundaries. The real trouble started when I dredged the pond. Nothing fancy, just clearing out silt and algae so my cows could drink clean water again. Hired Jose from Martinez Construction, brought in an excavator. Standard ranch stuff. But the second the machine started scooping mud, I heard tires on gravel and boom, Veronica's white BMW crest the hill like we're in some low-budget legal thriller. She marches up, folder in hand, and says, "Mr. Whitmore, you're violating community environmental guidelines. You need to stop immediately." I'm thinking, what the hell? This is my land. But she's got paperwork and some made-up visual water resource nonsense because my pond is visible from their backyards. I laugh. Mistake number 1. Veronica doesn't like being laughed at. Within 48 hours, the whole HOA is after me. I get emails, warnings, cease and desist letters. My contractor backs out too risky. Then come the photos taken from weird angles with bad lighting to make the pond look like a toxic swamp. Next thing I know, it's all over Facebook. Contaminated water near Meadowbrook Heights. People start calling me a danger to the environment. Some think I'm dumping chemicals. Someone even said their dog got sick from the air. I swear. But it didn't stop there. I got flagged by the city for an environmental review. Then came a certified letter lawsuit pending. They were trying to label my pond as a public nuisance. $85,000 in cleanup costs and fines. I could have cried. Instead, I called Ezra. Ezra Mullins is 78, ranched here his whole life. Guy's basically a living history book with cowboy boots. I told him everything. He dug through his attic and came back with a manila envelope full of gold original water rights documentation from 1874. My family's pond predated the county, the subdivision, and all their damn rules. I felt like I'd found Excalibur. Took it to the HOA meeting all dressed up, folder in hand. Thought I'd blow their little courtroom drama wide open. No. Veronica smacked like I'd just handed her my diary. Said a current environmental law overrides territorial claims. Her exact words. Then dropped a bomb: if I didn't comply, they'd take me to court and file criminal charges. She even brought up some old $2.3 million case she'd won against a resort for pond mismanagement. I realized right then she wasn't here to negotiate. She was here to win. And she didn't stop at court threats. One day, I found a GPS tracker underneath my truck. Real thing. Professional grade. Someone was tracking my movements. That's when I knew this wasn't about a pond. It was personal. Or worse, profitable. I hired a private investigator, last of my savings. And man, did he deliver. Turns out, Meadowbrook Heights' main water line, the one supplying their fancy homes, fountains, all that green grass, was running directly through my property. Illegally. No easement, no compensation. And Veronica knew it. She owned undeclared lots right on my eastern fence line. She had every motive to force me out and quietly absorb my land into her little empire. That changed everything. Suddenly, I had leverage. So I did what any rancher with a sense of poetic justice would do. I blocked their water line. Not by destroying it. I'm not a psycho, just sealed off the access point with fast-drying concrete. Legal gray area. My land, my concrete. No crime. Technically. Sunday morning, their faucets ran dry. Panic ensued. People started hauling jugs from gas stations. Lawns died. HOA group chats exploded. Veronica was in Palm Springs when it all hit. Came back Monday like a woman on fire. Showed up at my gate with cops and a half-baked court order. Demanded access. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Show me the easement paperwork." She couldn't. Because it didn't exist. Meanwhile, Channel 7 News flipped the story. Suddenly I wasn't the villain. I was the guy defending his land from illegal water theft. The same people who called me a terrorist last week were now asking if I'd consider running for office. By Thursday, Veronica's whole world came crashing down. The county investigated the water line, found out about the survey error, and realized they'd been drawing from my land for over a decade without paying a cent. Councilman Bradley, the one who signed the emergency condemnation order, turned out to be an old law school buddy of Veronica's. Conflict of interest. Oh yeah. Both of them resigned under pressure. Lawsuits flew like vultures. Veronica lost her job, her standing, her subdivision revolted. Residents sued the HOA. Her image was cooked. And you'd think I'd be thrilled, right? But when she finally came to me, no entourage, no makeup, just a woman barely holding it together, she told me about her son. Drowned in a pond, years ago. That's why she fixated on mine. It didn't justify what she did. But it explained it. So I didn't destroy her. I took a deal, $100,000 to restore the pond, cover legal fees, and a public apology. But I added one more condition: she had to donate another $100,000 to a drowning prevention program in her son's name. That was 6 months ago. My pond's full again, cattle are happy, and Meadowbrook Heights. They've got a brand new water line, properly routed this time, and a new HOA president who waves whenever we pass each other on the road. We don't talk, but we nod. That's good enough for me. You know, Grandpa used to say there are two kinds of people in the world: those who build fences to keep others out, and those who build them to mark respect. I used to think he meant it literally. Now I get it. And I'm curious. If you were in my boots, would you have done what I did? Or would you have taken her down completely? Let me know in the comments. I've had enough courtrooms. I could use a good debate for once.